Draw simple, easy.
Hey there guys, today we're going to be drawing a quick, simple, easy picture of Usopp from One Piece, the sniper pirate. Now I'm going to go ahead and create this long tubular shape that's going to both really help me map out Usopp's face as well as his hat. So I'm going to have it at an angle because he's going to be tilting off to the side. And I'm just creating this tube so that it's a bit like a barrel more than anything. You can imagine this big barrel shape going on just around about here with a bit of thickness and a bit of height. Hope that makes sense. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this roughly halfway, and the top half will be the hat and the bottom part will be most of Usopp's face. Now if we imagine this kind of barrel shape, it's almost the size of two squares sitting on top of each other, almost a perfectly equaled rectangle. And I want you to take the width of this and just imagine we're going out a bit more than that width again in either direction, from about here to about here. And then using this halfway line, I'm just going to imagine something like this across the page, and this is going to help mark out the line of the hat. So we'll get the easy bits out the way first. I'm going to about halfway, just a little bit less than halfway up the top of this barrel, make this zone the front of Usopp's hat. So I'm going to just start to bring this into the shape where we have a line that goes up towards the top. It has a bump at the front and actually comes down a bit towards the middle and then bumps out again off the back, just using this guideline shape to work inside of, and then probably just flattens out a bit like so. And then the outer edges of the hat is a fairly straight line that just smoothly goes off to a point about here, and also again a fairly straight line that goes off to a point around about here, just up to the edges. So I hope that's all still in focus. Good, it is. So let's carry on. Now Usopp's face is going to have a center line that's not down the middle, down here, but it's going to be a center line that's down this quarter of the shape of the barrel. So if you imagine this is the side of his face and this is the middle. So I'm going to create the curves and waves of this hat so that they follow this line still, but it's going to make sure it dips right on that center line, just so it looks much better. So it just curves up there. Just imagine this really shallow M shape that follows this line, this really smooth up and down situation. So it's just going to go down about here, and then it's just going to kind of wiggle and zigzag, maybe up and out, then down again, and right up and out towards the top, like so. And then on this side it will do something similar, but in a shallower sense. So it will zigzag down and then just go up and down and then straight over. But just create this wavy zigzag line, but just make sure the central M shape that goes here is right down the middle of where we'll have the front of the face. And then what I'm going to do is, if I imagine another not quite halfway point around about here, this is just going to help me understand the hat around the back and around the bottom is just going to come down to around about this area as well. I'm going to draw that in by just extending the kind of floppy shape that this has around about there, and also on this side around about here and up. And there's going to be lots of hair that comes off the back as well with Usopp, so we'll map all of this in just a moment. Now before we worry about the face, I'm going to bring a neckline that comes just down around about here and also follows this line all the way down and out like so, something like that. And then what we've got are a few different things. We have, if we come on the right side of the face here, Usopp has these big kind of headphones or noise mufflers. I'm not 100% sure which they are, but they're these great big circles that take up most of this side. And so I'm just going to draw one on here that kind of bumps out around about here, fairly large, like so. Obviously this isn't a perfect circle, it's more of an egg shape because we're looking at it a little bit side on. And I'm about halfway in, going to draw another one just to give it that shape, that depth. So I'm going to have an extra line in here. I'm going to follow that just inside to create another line here that separates off these zones. And in here we've kind of got 3 slits that just fit somewhere in that zone like so. And then down on this side there's just these kind of bumps that just show a bit of pattern and shape like so on that edge. But we've got more bits that we'll come to then as well. Now really lightly, I'm going to imagine the same thing on this. I'm just drawing this in very lightly with pencil because actually the features and nose are going to shoot off. So let's go ahead and think about where we're going to be having some of the rest of the bits. Usopp's nose is quite high up and it's quite long. So I'm going to, if I imagine, halfway this area and then halfway again. And this halfway point here is going to be the top of Usopp's nose. So it's going to come out from just left of the middle, from around about here, and it's going to shoot off about just beyond the length of his hat. I guess you can make it even longer sometimes depending on how much he lies. But basically I'm just going to create a really simple tube that is his kind of nose shape. It's just going to go off to the left, turn into a perfectly round point around about there, and then it's just going to come back in like so, stopping in at the same point where it comes out. Now we can stick a nostril just over to the right hand side, just to the right of the center line, and then using this point here, we're going to create a line that just goes off right up that top edge of the head zone, right up in there. And we're going to use that line to help understand where his eyebrows are. Then I'm going to do a similar thing right in the middle of this section that we've made. Remember, we've halved here and we've halved again. So this is just going to be at the same height, maybe his other eyebrow about there. And that is just going to shoot off in a very similar way, right up out in there. And because we've got the eyebrows in now, we know that we can fit the eyes in quite easily as well. So the eye on the left is just a bit of an edge of a circle that's about here. We'll just see that in. And the eye on the right is going to be a much larger circle, and it's going to fall right around about on this center line for us to keep things nice and easy. So around about here, I'm making sure that this circle's touching the top, fairly large, out and around like so. We'll have him looking towards us, so I'll just put in a little dot here, the middle of the eye, a little dot here as well, and then he's got 3 eyelashes. We'll see 2 of them on this side, 1, 2, then maybe we'll just see the third, and then he's got 3 on this side as well, 1, 2, and then the third one just points down a little bit, 3. Excellent. Just another line in there just to show all that focus. And then he's got a great big grin as well a lot of the time. He's a very cocky character as long as things are going right. Otherwise, he's a complete wuss and he runs away. Or at least he used to before he got better. Now, I'm just going to make sure this line of the hat doesn't quite perfectly meet the line of the nose. Otherwise, it doesn't quite work out visually. So I'm just going to bring this curve of the hat a bit further down. Excellent. And then we're going to get in this great big grin. So we've got this outside edge of a face for Usopp. And it comes all the way down here into a roundabout where we're going to have a chin down in the middle of this point. So I'm going to just point off ever so slightly the bottom edge of his face. I'm going to bring it up to where we've got this halfway down this barrel that we started with. Once I'm another quarter in, I'm going to bring that line back up, leave a jawline. It's just going to disappear off behind these headphones. Now that I've got this shape in, and especially because I've got, text message, especially because I've got this halfway line here, I'm going to create this great big grin. And it's going to start from around about just where we've got this eye coming out and around. And it's going to be a curve that goes downwards for the very top part of this smile. So we're going to go down and around and up to about here. And then we're going to just draw in this big kind of fat lip area that follows that around like so, and then really thins out right up to the edge of the mouth. And then on the inside edge here, we're just going to follow the outside edge of the cheek down to about halfway where we've got the bottom of the headphones pretty much. That's just going to go out to about there. And this is going to be the bottom inside edge of the smile as well. So a nice big grin. Again, a similar curve that comes round, doesn't have to be perfect, but this is going to then shoot up and create this kind of banana shape you can imagine we're just drawing in here. This comes up and just picks off there to the left, and then in a very similar way at the bottom, going to draw in just a bit of lip, just to create some thickness, right as we come round, and then it thins out here. Thins out all the way up and creates that bit of cheekiness that just goes up there for the smile. Excellent. So we've got that in. There'll be a line somewhere around about the middle where we're just going to indicate some teeth. Little point down there, like so. And then with the bottom of Usopp's chin, right round in this point, he's got a tiny bit of a goatee. So I'm just going to create a tiny little up and down shape there, and just a little bit of a lump down there, just to be the goatee as it comes off. Just a cheeky little one. And we've got the rest of that jawline coming up. Excellent. So we've mapped in most of his face. We've got most of the hat. I'm just going to draw a line or two here, just to show this hat shape and how it's all folding in. And then now that I've got the nose and shapes out of the way, I'm just going to draw in another couple lines for these headphones. One here, just like on this side. And then this outside edge line is that orange patch that I think it has. Great. Now we need to worry about all the other bits in hair because there's a few things that hang off of his neck and so on. So just below this chin line, I'm going to get this long line in just to help me understand his shoulders are going to be somewhere below here. And what I'm going to do is basically just kind of map from about this top point right down across here. And this is going to help me understand that he's probably got an arm that comes out here, this folded arm shape. And then this similar line, I'm going to do a parallel one right up from this edge of the hat as well. So something around about here. And that just helps me understand the line of the arms and the shoulders. But don't worry, we're going to map this in a bit more easily. So let's go with this shape here. And about 1/3 of the way up, we'll let this be our focal point where we've got the curves of the shoulders. If you imagine a circle here, just a circle shape, or draw this rough kind of maybe egg that comes in here, and then another egg or circle shape that comes around about down here, and we're just going to join these all up. So this neckline that comes down here will just go out into his shoulder like so. It's going to do the same on this side here, just come out and along until it becomes the bump of the shoulder around about there. Better. And then this line down the middle again is following this angle. So right from the center of the collarbone, I'm actually just going to come down along here. And that's going to help me understand a few things, such as I'm going to get a neckline here that just drops in towards this point where we've created this little cross in the middle. That's where things are going to focus in a bit. We'll have that part of the neck go down there. And then we can get some collarbones in. Just a line that goes up towards there. Another one that goes up towards the shoulder there. And then it just allows us as well just to start to map in bits of the chest. So I'm going to go inside this area here, around about where the shoulder's meeting in. And it'd be the same in theory for this side. There's just a bit of muscle here. And the same is going to be happening around about here. Because Usopp really bulked up when he was away training compared to the character he was beforehand. So I'm just checking that's all in focus. Lovely. And then let's just make sure that this part of the shoulder is just going to bump off and be a bit of arm. This part of the shoulder here is going to do the same as an arm. And the same here. And there. Now the arms are crossed. And I think they're probably falling mostly off the bottom of the page. So you might get a bit of an arm up here. We'll create just a little bit of a tube shape around about here. And I'm just going to flatten that off and drop it into what essentially is a hand just tucked into an arm. So you can't really make too much of that out. But we will show a bit of that sleeve he's got. I think he has like a blue and white striped patch on his arm around about there. And then on this side we will see a bit of his hand. So I'm just going to, in this part of the chest area here, right where we've got this kind of zone, right where we've got the middle of that zone, I'm just going to get a line that comes up to around about here. And then this is just going to be a hand with fingers coming off the edge. So I might just have one finger coming up here and then out, just towards the arm. Nice and thick. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's only going to fall off the bottom of the page anyway, very simply. And I'm just going to have another finger come up here, like so. And then just going to copy that shape, just to keep getting these other fingers in, just to show that there's something going on there. And then maybe just a little bit of flat shapes at the end to get the nail. But don't worry about that too much. It's not worth overthinking about it. He's got some other shapes going on as well. He's got straps that go, I think, straight over the front of his chest. One goes about there, like so. And these are the straps that hold up his pants. There's going to have another one up here and down like so. He then has another strap for his big satchel that comes all the way across. So I'm just going to then get a line that goes right across here. This one's I think a white or grey strap, and this will go on top of the others like so. And then he's also got some goggles. Now these goggle shapes can be a little bit of an annoying thing at the angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this central line that I've created a bit earlier. And I'm just going to, again, create these parallel lines that follow this overall angled theme. I'm going to go parallel down and out like so. Create this, basically a big slanting box. And then I'm going to turn it into a diamond shape here, like a point. And I'm basically creating a 3D shape. I'm creating a rectangular box there. And I'm going to, hopefully you can see this with all the other construction lines. But here is our rectangle. There's the outside edge. There's the nearest edge as well. Rectangular box shape. I'm going to split that in half again, following the shapes I've made. And now I'm just going to turn these into 2 areas of goggle. So right about here, inside this box, if I fit this really flattened out egg goggle shape here, egg goggle shape here, using this box as a guideline, and then I'm just going to give that a little bit of edge, and same on the inside, and again a little bit of edge on the outside, following it around, same on the inside, a little bit of edge, and then this goggle shape I'm just going to give it some thickness. So now I'm just going to come up with the rest of this rectangular shape. I'm just going to create one line up there, one line up there, join it together, a little bit of a plug in the middle, and then I'm just going to shoot off here as a bump and shoot off there as a bump as well. And that's how we kind of map in these goggles. Then it's a simple case of just more lines joining it in as they go around his neck. So 1, just bring that up and around, 2, 3, and then really similar again, slightly straighter line that goes up, right up around here for the edge, and then another one where it's a bit bigger. And then these guys have some stripes that go up as well. Just like that, doesn't need to be amazing. And then now all we need to do is get in all the kind of lumps and shapes that are his hair. So this you don't have to map in perfectly either, but you can just get it in. I'm just going to do all these really wavy lumps down about here, inside the goggle edge. I'm going to do a really similar set of wavy lumps right down about here for his hair there. And then I'm going to just really loosely create a bit of a circular shape here and turn this all into a wavy lump hairline as well. Really in and out of Usopp's hair, it's really something. And then because it all shoots off out the back, I'm going to create a bit of a circle lump here, and then I'm going to create a really big circle lump really loosely, something like that. And again, just turn this into all sorts of wavy 60 hipster neo shapes. Imagine a lava lamp, and then you're just doing whatever a lava lamp might do, all these big shapes all the way around. And there we pretty much have it. We just have a few last bits. There's more wavy hair that comes in down here because there's a strap that comes off the back of his headphones as he wears them backwards, like so. Maybe just a couple lines of detail there. And then I think there's also something, I don't know what it is, but the pictures I've been looking at Usopp, they have like a thing here. I don't know what this is. Is this more headphone strap or more bits? It just kind of floats about there. But there we go. We've got our quick, simple, basic picture of Usopp. I hope you found this useful. Some of the construction lines means it's not the easiest thing in the world for the fold. But if you don't want to do that for where the arms are folded over the chest, then just work up here. Get your Usopp face in with his nice big hat, his big pointy nose and his big grin. Get all the hair in, and that's always going to be good enough as well. So I'm going to drop into some time lapse, ink this up, and you can see which lines we're keeping and which lines we're getting rid of. And I'll see you right at the end. And there you have it, a nice, quick, simple, easy picture of Usopp from One Piece. I hope you guys enjoyed having a go at home. Don't forget you can always find my Facebook page, a link in the description below if you ever want to show off your artwork to everybody else. Let me know how you got on. And if you liked this video, give it a like, and if you found it useful, don't forget to come and click subscribe for more. I'm going to scan this in and I'm going to make sure that Usopp's hair is in black, his flesh is a standard flesh tone. These outside straps are a kind of reddish orange, the inside one is grey, and the goggles are going to be orange, white, and white on the inside edge. Then we've got a slightly off-white creamy colour for the hat, and that's about it. A bit of blue and white for the armband. Okay everybody, have yourselves a lovely week, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!